Exposing Workplace Bullying, where we pull back the curtain and have real conversations about workplace abuse. This is Season 4, The Art of Workplace Self-Defense. What you can do when you're being bullied in real time. We begin with Episode 27, The Case for Workplace Self-Defense. I'm your host, Dr. Jan Kircher. Most of us, maybe all of us, who are bullied at the most basic level just want it to stop. We simply want the person or the people who are abusing us at work to leave us alone. That's it. We don't want to be bullied. That's what I wanted when it started, and it's what I wanted when I left academics. That never changed. I went looking for real help to do just that. But there really wasn't much out there then and even now. The only guidance available to me was report it. It was my mentor, Patty, who told me to document, and I did that as best I could. Neither of those things stopped it, so I just kept looking for more help by talking to more people about my being bullied. Every professional I went to gave me the same dead-end advice, walking me through the chain of command. Did you talk to the person? Did you talk to the chair? Did you talk to the dean? Did you talk to HR? Did you go to the union? And when I said, yes, I've already done all of that, I need something else, their answer was always the same. There is nothing else. Leave. Now, fast forward 20 years, and the advice is exactly the same. The same guidance, the same so-called strategies, and little to no progress in supporting people who are bullied. The real problem, the hidden truth that anyone who's bullied knows, is that the strategies we're constantly told to use don't protect us. In many cases, they make things worse. We report it, and the bullying escalates. The harm increases. The trauma deepens, and still nothing changes. But there's nothing else out there. So you keep repeating the same strategies, hoping something will give. I didn't understand that at first. I spent years, and I mean years, doing what I was told, using the tools the system required to take action. I was literally like a hamster on a wheel. And it looked like this. Bob would bully me. I would document. I would report it. Nothing would happen. Rinse and repeat. But then there was a moment that changed how I saw workplace bullying. It was after that incident where the bully charged around the table. I had a meeting with the HR director, and she told me they wanted me to wipe the slate clean. And when she said it, I mean, when I really heard it, everything shifted. It became clear that nothing I was doing within the system was going to stop the bullying. What she was really saying was, Jan, we don't care that you're being bullied. Deal with it. Wipe the slate clean. Stop causing problems. Sit down and keep your mouth shut. In that moment, something clicked. I had done everything I was supposed to do, and none of it worked. Not because I was doing it wrong, but because those strategies were never designed to stop the bullying in the first place. I realized no one in the system was ever going to intervene. No one gave a damn. No one cared. I was literally on my own. That's when I started asking myself, if the only options are document, report, or leave, then what do you do when none of those protect you? The answer didn't come right away. I had to sit with that for a long, long time. I needed something that would keep me safe, protect my credibility, my reputation, my job, and my sense of self. Yes, of course, ideally, I wanted to be able to stop the bullying. But I had to face a hard reality. I couldn't. I had years of evidence to prove it. I was not going to be able to stop the bullying on my own. I couldn't change the bully. I couldn't force bystanders to speak up or tell the truth. And I couldn't make the system intervene on my behalf. What finally became clear was this: the only person I had influence over was myself. So any strategy worth using had to be something I could engage in directly, something I could control, not something that depended on someone else intervening or required action by others. Only interventions I was actively involved in. Full stop. That's where the idea of workplace self-defense came from. Self-defense, at its core, is about protecting yourself from harm when a threat is present. Workplace bullying fits this exactly. My bullies, the 8, and the workplace that allowed it were direct threats to me. And in most other forms of harm or abuse, there are clear ways to defend yourself. That's what workplace self-defense does. It's about protecting yourself in real time, reducing harm and preserving your credibility, your reputation, your job, and your sense of self without depending on bystanders or the system to step in. It's about planning moves and being strategic in your decision-making. In an abusive work environment, in a bully culture, this isn't abstract. It's necessary. Workplace self-defense means assessing your risk, staying aware of what's happening around you, making deliberate choices about how you respond, and using strategies you can apply in the moment to stay safe and in control. Because even when you're being bullied, you still have choices. You still have power. And yes, this is also about fighting back in ways that are deliberate and self-protective. That matters. It really does. So it can be about where you sit, who you align yourself with, and where you place your body in your workspace. It can be about when you speak, when you don't, what you put in writing, and what you stop explaining. It's about responding in ways that protect you rather than giving the situation more power over you. That's what I mean by workplace self-defense. But that's not how I was operating at the time. Frankly, It's not how I operated most of the time. I just reacted. There was no planning. I responded exactly how the bully wanted me to respond. They pushed me, I reacted over and over and over again. Many times when I did that, the bullying escalated and I experienced more harm, more bullying, more trauma. Now, I wasn't responsible for the bullying, but responding the way I did, it didn't help me. It hurt me. Most of the time I was bullied, I didn't know what else to do but follow the standard advice. I did it because I thought it was right. I documented, I reported, I left. I uprooted my family multiple times, hoping that the next place would finally be bully-free. But nothing I did made one damn bit of difference. And that is very, very hard for me to admit. It wasn't until much later in my career that I began to respond differently to being bullied. I shifted my approach because it was the only thing within my control. It was all I had left. And guess what? It made a huge difference. Let me give you an example. When I walked into the last workplace of my academic career, I wasn't surprised that the dean had a reputation for bullying. But what was different was that I was paying closer attention to risk, to power, and to my own responses. At one point, I got called into a meeting by my supervisor. She wanted to talk to me about the department. She said it was routine and that it would just be the two of us, but my gut said otherwise. So I started to engage in workplace self-defense. I made a conscious decision to protect myself. The first thing I did was think about what I was walking into. I identified it as a high-risk situation. As a result, I contacted my faculty representative and asked them to come with me. I had been through this too many times to walk into a meeting like that alone. The second thing I did was develop a strategy. Before I went in, I was clear about how I would respond to any sort of confrontation. Less was more. I planned to say very, very little. When it was time for the meeting, I wasn't surprised to see my supervisor and, of course, the dean. My faculty rep and I sat down, and immediately the dean started to rapidly fire questions at me. I made eye contact with her and kept it the whole time she was asking me questions. When she finished, I chose one to answer and answered briefly. She asked the same question again. I gave the same answer. This went on for several minutes. Finally, I looked at my supervisor and asked, "Do you have any questions for me?" Dead silence. I took that silence as a no and responded with, "Okay, since there are no more questions, it looks like this meeting is done. Thank you for your time." I stood up, the faculty rep stood up, and we left. As we walked down the hallway, the faculty representative turned to me and said she was impressed and that she planned to use those strategies going forward. I'm not going to lie, I got a huge kick out of that. Now, I did not stop the bullying. I didn't. The dean bullied me in that meeting. But I disrupted it in the moment. I reduced the harm to myself, and that was my goal. I didn't get bullied as much as I could have. What I hadn't anticipated was how it would feel afterward. I walked out of that meeting feeling clear and in control. For the first time in a long time, I felt proud of how I handled the situation. I felt like I actually had some power in the workplace. And that is exactly what workplace self-defense is. Deliberately engaging in strategies that reduce harm from the bullying and the bully. This season focuses on how you can do that in real time. We're going to look at different ways you can engage in workplace self-defense, how you protect yourself from bullies and from bullying in ways that keep you safer, not more exposed. We're going to talk about how to assess your risk so you can see when you're more vulnerable and how to make choices that help you stay steady in those moments, especially when things get rough. From there, we'll move into self-defense moves you can use with nonverbal, verbal, cyber, physical, and emotional bullying, and the moves you can use when a bully uses the system against you. All of this is part of workplace self-defense, reducing harm, preserving your sense of control, and protecting your nervous system, your work, and most importantly, your sense of self. We're going to start with situational awareness and risk before you even walk in with episode 28, Threat Assessment. This podcast is independently funded. Consider supporting at stopbullyculture.com/support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If this episode hits home, check out stopbullyculture.com, where I share tools, resources, and real talk to help you deal with workplace abuse. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Until next time.
They gaslight and plot, play their games. Witnesses smile, you're part of the shame. Your boss stays silent, closing the door. How many voices will they ignore? The bully lies, the brave get burned. The office watches, no lessons learned. Your boss hides, truth gets colder. It's time to stop the bully culture.